Okay, hi. I said I was going to keep up with this blog, so this is my second entry for the service learning project I'm doing as a student at IU in E232, which is a music ed course. And so I have questions again that I'll be answering, for class I have to write this out, but I want to keep up with it on here. So let's start. What did you imagine for this next set of learning experiences, and how did the environment evolve? So for the second set of teaching, we only had, I think, 2 experiences since the last video with spring break and everything. I didn't really know what to imagine because it had been so long since we had seen the kids with break and things going on and everything. So I was a little bit nervous, actually, that maybe they wouldn't remember things that we did with them, or they would have forgotten who we were and not wanted to participate, or not. It wouldn't have been as effective as it had been before break, because we were really making some good progress in the classroom, I thought. But that didn't really happen. The kids have been participating, the students have been participating, and it's still been going uphill. It never really stopped, which is really, really encouraging as a teacher. What is the most exciting thing that happened in each experience? Just last Friday, it was the best teaching experience we've had so far. We have a little bit of a routine we do. So we have like an opening song, then we did the duck song, then Old MacDonald, and we do something where we dance. We play Happy by Pharrell Williams, and we all get up and just dance and enjoy the music together, and then do a closing song and then leave. And one of our students actually was singing along with us and was tapping eighth notes when we were doing Old MacDonald. He was tapping rhythms and singing at the same time, which he's never done before. None of the students have, and it was really, really cool to see that happen and see him understanding what we were doing and knowing exactly what to do. And it was just one of those moments where you see the kids who, day one they wouldn't interact with us at all, and they're talking with us now. And towards the end, one of the other students in my group, one of the younger students was interacting with him, and the young student who was tapping away, he sat in the chair that we used to lead, and for the goodbye song. There's just so many great things happened that showed a lot of progress. It was really encouraging to have that, because sometimes, as a music student, you get bogged down in theory and your other music classes and rehearsals and practicing and everything. But moments like that really reminded everyone in the group, at least, what we're really out here for. So it was just a really, really cool experience. What was the most nerve-wracking thing? Before last video, I hadn't taught yet, so I have taught now twice, once on my own and once with someone else who did the same song but on their own before. It was really nerve-wracking because I went first out of the group. I had no idea how my counterpart did the song the week before. I knew how I was going to do it, but I didn't know if that was going to line up. I didn't know how the kids would react. It was really, really nervous. But then, I did it, which was great. Definitely reflected on that experience and figured out some things I could do better next week. And then did it again next week, and it went better. But it's really, really nerve-wracking getting in front of those kids. I think sometimes it's like we want it to be so perfect and everything, and that's not bad, but it's just you get so nervous. Yeah, it's really, really... sometimes you don't think it's we get nervous about going in front of professors for playing tests or hearings or recitals and performances and things like that. It's just as nerve-wracking to get up in front of a group of third grade kids and teach them music, but a good kind of nerves. Have you learned anything new about these students individually and as a class, and how to work with them? So yes. It's definitely still, it's a continual learning process since we're only there every once a week. Um, and the days, we don't know what's going on in the school. So like one day it was picture day, and sometimes they have fire drills and everything. So that definitely changes the environment. Um, but getting to know the classroom and getting to know, the kids' names and what what they like and what they dislike and who will participate when we do this song, or who likes to dance here and who likes to do this, it definitely helps adapt our routine that we have to the classroom itself, to get the kids excited about whatever we're going to do and play to the strengths in the classroom already. Um, it's really, really fun. And working with them has gotten, it's always been enjoyable, but it's even more enjoyable now when we go to, like, for example, we'll go to sing a song, and I know I can count on, this one student right here, she's gonna answer that question, or that student right there, like he's got it this time. He's gonna help us out. So it's really exciting. And then when they participate, or when something unexpected happens, and then I learn something new, it's really, really exciting to see the growth in the classroom, and then helps us grow as teachers. Uh, at what times have you been in a leadership role, and what did you learn through that experience? So I have taught twice now. Those would be when I'm in a leadership role, I guess. And what I've learned is it's very, very nerve-wracking to get in front of students. I already knew that, but it's even more so, especially when there's 5 other people my age who are also teaching around me, and then there's TAs in the room that are older who have they're already teaching these kids. And granted, it's all, it's experimental, but nobody knows. But it's also like, it feels like there's a level of expectation. It's just it's super, super nervous. But at the same time, it's really good to do that or to be in that situation, because you learn a lot about yourself and your tendencies. Like when I get nervous, I tend to talk quietly, which is not the best for a louder classroom, because you get lost in it. So I talk quietly. Sometimes talking quietly is probably the biggest one, but sometimes I'll not exactly sure where to go. So I think maybe it's hard with this situation, but if there was a way to have a better set plan, or I guess just making transitions smoother, that would probably be another pretty big goal of teaching in general for me, because I'll have an idea, and then if it's done, then I'm like, well, now what? Sometimes that happens in here. But yeah, it's cool. And then you also learn beyond just the process itself. I get to learn what is really making me want to do this for the rest of my life. And granted, I don't want to teach this level, like I said before, but teaching music, why do I want to do that? And this whole experience definitely reminds me every time we go that this is definitely what I want to do, and it can make a difference in anybody's life. So, what do you still need to learn in this setting? There's a lot that I need to learn. Every time we go in there, I want to be able to I just want to stay for a whole week one time and really get to be with these kids and see what they really want to do, because but even though I want to, I don't have the luxury to do that. I'm a student too. I would really be interested to learn what happens right before we get there and what happens after we leave. I wonder if the students have any other reactions, oh, they know we're coming, or oh, they just left, now what do we I'm just curious as to what it's like. I would also like to learn better ways to, okay, so we have this routine, but how do we advance beyond that? I think it's easy to get stuck in, oh, well, this worked, so let's do it again and again. But then eventually we'll run into the problem where we kind of forget that, we're teaching students, we're teaching people, and they're going to get bored just like we get bored if we're on the same topic or the same book for a whole semester. how do you, if you're there for like long term month, well, we're there for months, but every day, how do you move forward once once we've exhausted our routine, our package deal? I think that's something really important, because you don't want to bore the kids. And I know there's the argument the other way saying, well, the repetition's really helpful, and I agree. However, it to a certain degree, then they're going to get bored. And then that also goes back to teaching in the middle, because if it's a community classroom, there's going to be kids just coming in sometimes and kids that have been here forever. So the kids that have been here for a while are going to know and probably want to do something else. But the new kids, it would be good for them to learn that too. So I guess learning more about balance in the classroom too, that would be really beneficial. And how has your learning objectives, procedures, repertoire, and or assessment practice changed over time? Well, um, there's been, I'd say the objectives are the same. If not, they've just specified. I mean, generally it was always see progress and get participation, and both of those are happening, but that's still the goal. It's just, I guess, just elevated because the more kids do show progress, or the more the kids do participate, then we're just looking for more every single time. So I guess the objectives are the same, just to a higher level. Procedures, we're still playing around with some of the procedures and rep. We're still playing around with some things. I think this coming week we might change the duck song, because last couple times it hasn't gone how we pictured it to go. So, we're always trying to find things that relates to what the kids like, but also is fun and exciting. I think we might be doing too many animal things, and that might be why the song isn't as exciting as the other ones, because it's the ducks, and I think it's cute. But if it's not exciting for them, then we should look into something else. Maybe something with, we were talking about bringing in shakers for the kids, because they like handheld things and sensory stimulation. So that would be a really good idea, I think. We might play around with that Friday. Assessment practice. I mean, in this setting, it's not really like we test them or really assess them. I know afterwards we always talk as a group of like, oh, did you notice that? Oh, did you notice that? Like the objectives and the procedures, it's a lot of, we just want to see them participating and look like they're enjoying it. So I guess since we've been more comfortable, the assessment itself, we've been able to be more observant than super like, I'm in my box, I'm teaching, and I'm out of the box and I'm just standing here. Like we can teach and notice things at the same time at this point. So yeah, that's pretty much that. We only have a couple weeks left here, but this whole experience has been really, really awesome so far. I know that there's other schools, other universities that don't get opportunities like this, so I'm really lucky that I get to do this here. And I would actually be really interested in looking for a way to continue something like this even after this class. I think it's really important to have. This specifically, I know it should be open to the next semester classes of this course 232, but it'd be really, really cool to do something like this in the community where, maybe the kids aren't able to, like, it's not going to happen through Indiana University to the schools, but maybe there's a way to start something, or maybe something already exists and I should go out and look about it. Also, with being in Kappa Kappa Psi, I think maybe we could do something to help too, since it is all about serving bands. Maybe there's a way we could tie that in. Kind of just brainstorming on the fly right now, but I think this class in general links to a lot of things outside of the classroom of or the box description of E232. There's a lot to be done with these experiences that we have, and they don't have to end in May. So really, really, really excited about what we've done and what we're gonna do the rest of the semester. And yeah, I should have at least one more update by the end, but yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, bye.